As the college academic year comes to a close, it marks the permanent closing for several small colleges. Last week, the University of the Arts in Philadelphia announced it will be shutting down for good on Friday. The abrupt closure of the nearly 150-year-old institution directly affects its more than 1,100 students and 700 faculty members. It marks the latest in a string of closures among small arts and liberal arts schools. CBS News reporter Zak Hudak joins us here in the studio. Why is this happening, Zach?
John, these schools, being art schools and small liberal arts private schools, they have a different cash flow than the big universities and state schools. They don't have, typically, barring the largest and most powerful ones, they don't have large endowments. So for all of their day-to-day costs, they are functioning based off the tuition they're bringing in day-to-day. As a result, just a small change in the enrollment can affect those costs they have in a day-to-day. And they have pretty big overheads because they have professors who they are paying tenure to, no matter whether or not enrollment goes up or goes down.
And what was the enrollment picture for these colleges? Was it going down because people are, are they still engaging in this kinds of artistic pursuits?
It's going down because more and more students are majoring in pre-professional disciplines. They are afraid that they're making this large investment at a time when things are getting more and more expensive, and they want a guaranteed job at graduation. They look at an arts degree, and they think, wow, there are a lot of things I could do maybe 10, 20 years after graduation, after I've been an artist and built up a resume, but I'm not guaranteed a job the day after I get out of school.
Right. Even English and history are being, ain't what they used to be. So what are some of these, are there things that some of these smaller schools are trying to do to stay open or, just to stay open?
John, I spoke today with the guy who wrote the book on how they can do it, wrote basically a playbook. He's the president of it. It is called Adrian College in Southern Michigan. And when he took over around 2005, their enrollment was 850 students. 10 years later, he had more than doubled that to 1,850. So his playbook goes like this. First of all, if you're an administrator, you need to have a financial plan. You cannot just assume the money's going to keep coming in. If you're at a small school like this, you need to find a way to ensure the enrollment stays up. To do that, you need to acknowledge that the liberal arts majors are not cutting it when it comes to selling it to incoming students. You need to find a way almost to disguise that liberal arts education, disguise those humanities classes as something that'll guarantee them to get a job. What you can do is have a business major, but there's a core curriculum that is required. They are required to read the Iliad if they're going to be a business major at that school. And the final thing is to be innovative with extracurriculars. At Adrian College, what they did is they noticed that there are a lot of high schoolers who want to play college hockey. There are not a lot of college hockey teams. So they built a hockey rink. They now have, between their main team and club teams, 7 hockey teams. And that alone helped majorly get the word out in the state of Michigan. If you want to play college hockey, here's a place right in your backyard you can come.
I love the idea. We're going to study spreadsheets, but first a little Homer. Let me ask you as a final question, what do you think this says, or have any, in the reporting you did, about the way we think about colleges and the way we think about thinking in this world where, people understandably want something that they can use right away to get their first lucrative job?
It says that people are not viewing college as they once did. They're not viewing it as a place to go and learn how to think critically, and learn about themselves. They're instead viewing it as a place to get job training and be guaranteed a job. That was of particular concern to a couple of the former administrators at these now defunct art schools I spoke with, who brought up the issues of having a democratic society and how important it is to have critical thinkers if we are having our citizens decide our leaders. An extension of that even that they brought up is the importance of having art in a democratic society. The fact that so often truth is shown through artistic expression, and that is needed to inform people in a society like our own.
And also we need it, of course, to feed the soul. Zak Hudak, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great stuff.